Hey everybody, I've made a huge mistake. I bought the RC4 Drive Trail Finder 2 K10 Scottsdale RTR, RTR meaning ready to run, or in RC4 Drive's case, ready to reassemble. But as it comes from the box, you need to do a little assembling, such as installing the front inner fenders, front and rear bumpers, as well as tightening every screw or nut so it doesn't fall apart on the first run or trail finding mission. So where do we begin? I originally was not going to get one of these. I really didn't want one, but I decided maybe it would be a good series of videos where I slowly improve it by replacing it with other manufacturers' parts. It was $569.99, which I think is a lot considering there's a lot of room for improvement and considering the Trail Finder 2 platform is 12 years old. As some of you may remember, there was a Trail Finder 3 very briefly. It was not good. So back to the Trail Finder 2 they went. They're just going to try to erase that part of history. So here we have the K10 body that is painted in a sparkly red, which I personally do not like. I don't like that kind of paint. I didn't realize it was like that when I bought it. I thought it was just like a plain red. That's just a personal thing. The finish is all right though. So for a while, as you know, they had the Blazer body, and a few people offered kits to convert the Blazer to pickup. They finally figured out that people wanted pickup truck body, so they designed one themselves. There's a lot of pieces that carry over from the Blazer, but the cab and bed are new moldings. They still have the same humongous Dumbo mirrors on there. They still have the humongous oversized door handles that are missing the little thumb button to get in. Weird door shape, vent window detail, and some kind of weather stripping that shouldn't be there. So they didn't fix that. They didn't have the fuel filler door on the earlier square bodies. It should have just been the fuel cap there in the side of the bed. And I think unless it had dual tanks, it would have only had the passenger side filler, at least to my understanding. And they gave it a more specific truck tailgate over the Blazer tailgate they had. Move these huge mirror out of the way. So I guess it's an updated interior with, I believe, an updated dashboard, maybe a little more detail. It now has door panels in there. It has the bucket seats from the Blazer. So there's kind of some year discrepancies on this body. They're calling it a Scottsdale, but the Scottsdale trim did not come out until 1975. However, it has an earlier 73 to 74 grille and turn signals, orange. They would be changed after that to clear 75. So if they were set on those particular features, they could have called it a Cheyenne or Custom Deluxe or something else. So you could get bucket seats in these trucks, but the high back ones weren't available until 77. So now we have a 73, 75, 77, and I'm not sure when they changed those, maybe in 81 when they did the whole front end change and all that other stuff. My own truck's in 86, so I have ones like that, and I have a different tailgate. I wish they would do better windshield wipers. These things are pretty whack. I just noticed that on the tailgate. That must be a carryover from the Blazer, because pickups should not have that. So this new version comes with a detailed engine bay. And this is the first time I've popped the hood to look, and that's pretty nice. That looks pretty good. Nice job, RC4 Wheel Drive. They really globbed the glue on there for the lights. It comes fully loaded with lights. That's neat. But they're super bright LED headlights, which look terrible on old trucks. Here's the Trail Finder 2 part of it. They said something about the leaf springs were improved. All I'm seeing is that they didn't put in the typical 3 or 4 helper springs like they always do. However, if you want to stiffen it up, they were included in a bag. At least you don't have to take them off right off the bat. And the shocks don't have the internal spring anymore. So it took them like 10 years to figure out that they needed to stop putting internal springs and a humongous pack of leaf springs on the trucks to get better performance. But I've said it before, flex is overrated. They still have the shackle at the front of the front axle, although none of the bodies they've ever put on a Trail Finder 2 should have had that. They do now sell a part to flip that, so I'll be changing that soon. They've added lift blocks to the axles. Lift block on the front axle is always a terrific idea in real life. They also did add a shim for the rear axle to keep the pinion angles a little better. So there's an improvement, the rest being unchanged. Single speed transmission, same old 45 turn brush motor, twister servo, 277 torques, Outcry 3 electronic speed control. Center rock catcher. What are these tires? These are 1.9 inch VF Goodrich tires wrapped around these beautiful 6-lug wheels with the little plastic chrome beauty ring, stamped steel, and oh yeah, and one more pet peeve of mine is the servo being on the non-steering wheel side. I have flipped that in the past on some builds just to get it so the steering looks a little more appropriate. It really doesn't change performance. Plastic rock sliders that are all warped. It might just be over torqued and twisted. Here's an improvement that's new to me. The body mount here, although they still put the screw holes in the side of the body, and you have to screw them in to take the body out and off. Before it was just a round post with a single screw that would always turn on you when you were trying to take the body off. At least they made it square now with a little lip there so it can't rotate. So instead of just changing the way they mount the body, they improved the way it was held on. So partial credit. Here are the Lexan inner fenders. At least they're painted. We'll have to put those on. Now they do include an optional 77 to 79 grill, so that can at least make it a more appropriate Scottsdale with high back bucket seats. We'll just have to change those turn signals to clear, and we'll kind of be in the right year. The bumpers are the same very thick, ugly offerings from the Blazer with the optional deluxe rubber impact strip, which I've seen very few real trucks with those, and if you want to leave that there, you gotta paint it black to make it look more like rubber. These will be replaced. I also like a step bumper on the back of the pickup truck opposed to these things. And here we have sticker sheet with some trim and sliding rear window stickers and what have you. Hopefully they've learned their lesson and they like white back the decals, because whenever you'd put them on something they were semi-transparent and they would just never look right. And then the same old transmitter they've had for just about ever. So that's a $5 radio, 3-channel maybe. I don't know if the receiver is 3-channel, but. And then they still ship it with nickel batteries and a charger and batteries for your very awesome deluxe transmitter. For the test drive, I'm going to put a 3-cell LiPo in, just so you know. but I'm not going to change, I'm not going to do any tuning or anything before the test drive. So the plan is to do a couple videos of me slightly improving it both in looks and performance, and see what we can make out of this thing. See if I can't spend even more money on this. So let's put it together and get it outside. Bit of a struggle to put the body on with those inner fenders. They might need trimmed up a little bit to make it a bit easier. Doesn't look too bad. Debating on whether I should put a driver inside or not. It'll probably take too much work to take it all apart and put a guy in. So it'll be a ghost driver this time. Anyway, thanks for suffering through this along with me. Let me know if you think I should improve the performance or improve the appearance first, or do a little bit of each. I don't know if this will be a frequent thing or maybe every other week I'll have some updates, or I might have a bad time and this will be the first and last video about this. I'm already in this deep, and at my current YouTube earnings, it's going to take me 10 months to pay this off. So please consider liking or subscribing or watching my video longer than 1 minute and 40 seconds. But whatever you do, don't tell me to make better videos, because I'm not going to. Thanks for watching. Let's go outside.